Welcome to Daily Tax Savings. This is Tony Novak here to share a few points on saving taxes and staying out of tax trouble. Today's topic is I want to fight. And before we jump right into that, let me just say that your screen is not dirty. I decided to join the No Shave November a bit late, and we'll see how it goes by month end. So I'm working on a few cases that are smaller dollar amounts of unpaid tax penalties, amounts in dispute, and at least one of them is clearly unfair to the taxpayer. It just shouldn't have happened, but it did happen. And this episode was sparked by a conversation I had with an excellent enrolled agent, uh, a well known professional, who made a statement like that it is our role as tax representatives to make sure that government acts fairly and administers tax policy evenly, something to that effect. And I noticed that I strongly disagree. Um, my role is to see for the financial welfare of my client. And in the case where where a client's been uh, shortchanged or cheated. And on this show, we've mentioned a large number of fraud cases, both in business and personal, mostly online stuff. It is always my focus is to uh, fix that problem and then make sure that it doesn't happen again. So when it comes down to disputing a tax bill, fighting a tax situation, a CPA is a little bit different than an EA in that we have a professional obligation to not promote a service, to not offer and uh, and recommend a service where the cost of that service is more than the actual dollar or estimated dollar benefit. And let me give an example for round numbers. Let's say that there's a tax dispute of $10,000 and we don't know if we're going to prevail or not prevail. It's always a risk in dispute cases. Certainly a risk if it winds up going to court. There's always a risk of winning or losing. And so for this discussion, let's just say that it's a 50-50. It's a toss-up. We don't know if we're going to win or lose. So 10,000 times 0.5, and it was 50% chance of winning, means our expected savings, our expected financial benefit in this case, should we pursue it, is $5,000. Now, if it's a simple matter, we only costs us $1,000 or two to get it. It makes sense to pursue that. But in some cases where there's multiple steps, we've talked about liens and levies and financial statements and disclosures and appeals process and possibly even go into tax court. Those things can cost substantially more than $5,000, and it simply might not make sense to do that. A CPA is restricted by what's called the AICPA Statement of Standards of Tax Services, Statement 7, Example 7. There's line items A through K, which are interpreted to mean that we cannot recommend or should not ethically recommend a service that costs more than the benefit. Now, if a client absolutely insists on fighting a financially losing battle, it's not that we can't do it. We have to take additional precautions and document that we said that this is a financially losing battle and we're doing it for other reasons other than the financial decision. But in all of those cases, I find that almost always it makes more sense, particularly for a business client, to spend our time and money on far more productive endeavors and efforts rather than fighting a small tax bill. So, as nasty as it might sound, sometimes it just makes sense not to fight the government on tax bills. We'd love to hear your thoughts, comments, or feedback. There's got to be somebody that disagrees with me there. I'd love to hear. I'm easy to reach on social media, and I'll be back tomorrow with another Tax Savings Minute.